Hey there, Crown Corner family! Welcome back to another episode of our incredible storytelling series. I'm your host, Crown, and I'm super excited to dive into today's tales. We've got a mix of everything today, from a supermarket showdown to a beachside phone chase, an encounter with a supermarket Karen, and a sibling drama that's got us all thinking. So grab your favorite snack, kick back, and let's unravel these stories together. Let's get into it. Note: here in the UK we are in lockdown. It's illegal to not wear a face covering in shops, and social distancing must be adhered to. This is my second Karen incident in 2 days, and I'm just about ready to hibernate away for the winter from all the drama. This afternoon I had to go to our local large supermarket to pick up something from the pharmacy that was in a store. It was quite quiet, and as always, the shops here have social distancing markers on the floor to help customers stay 2 meters away from each other. And by law, people have to wear a mask. I am second in line. The first person is currently being served at the counter. As I'm waiting on a floor marker, and along walks a man and stands in front of me. We will call him Male Karen. So now he has pushed into the front of the line and I'm second. I am not in any rush and I'm under 5 feet tall, less than 8 stone in weight, and not really ready to confront anyone, let alone a 6 feet plus man in his 40s or 50s during a pandemic. So I let it slide. He doesn't even bat an eyelid. He walks up to the counter as soon as the other customer being served leaves and requests the toothpaste he wanted from the pharmacist serving. At this point, from what I understand, the item he wants isn't sold behind the pharmacy counter, and it's in fact 5 aisles away in the healthcare section of the supermarket, not part of the pharmacy at all. At this point, I can now clearly hear every word between the pharmacist and the Male Karen. This triggers a Male Karen and insists by getting louder that the pharmacist goes to get the toothpaste for him. The pharmacist is polite, explains he can't leave the pharmacy and gives directions to the man. He also offers to call one of the supermarket floor staff to take the man to the aisle which he needs. This doesn't work nor appease a Male Karen. He starts to get angrier, leaning over the counter, pressing his face against the plastic barrier that separates customers from staff. And he points at the pharmacist under the gap of the barrier where you slide your money to pay. The Male Karen is yelling obscenities and demanding that the pharmacist go and get it right now. You do as you're told and get my toothpaste right now. Thankfully, the pharmacy is stationed right next to where the security room is, and they don't tolerate any abuse. As I'm standing back, I see him hit the hidden security button under the counter. The man rips off his face mask and is full-on shouting at the pharmacist, complaining and raging that this is unacceptable, banging his hands on the counter and knocks items off the display with his temper tantrum, still screaming that they should go and get the item for him, and he should be treated with respect. I can't even believe people think that they are this entitled. But here this guy is. The security arrives within a few seconds as they are literally behind the door to the side of the counter, and I'm sure they could hear the problem, and escort the raging man out of the store. By the time I left the building, there were 2 police cars outside and a police van, and plants, soil, and plant pots, from where the supermarket sells, well, plants, thrown all over the floor. So I can only assume he started throwing plants and flower pots at the security guards. Not sure, I just had to speculate that plants part. Meanwhile, the Male Karen I had seen earlier was still raging. Now at police officers and towards the security standing nearby talking with another officer, and was being loaded into the back of a big blue van in handcuffs. They're raging about how he shouldn't be treated like this, he's done nothing wrong and all that. I'm just glad I never confronted him myself about jumping the queue, but it left me and others, including the staff, shaken by the event of this person and their pure entitlement. And all over toothpaste. So this happened like 5 years back. Basically, my buddy and I got super into surfing in high school, and we would go pretty much every day. His mom would usually drop us off, we would wrap our phones in our shirts, bury them in the sand a bit, and place our towels on top. This was the everyday routine. So one day we go surfing in this sketchy area, not so sketchy that we shouldn't have been surfing there, but it would have been way smarter to not bring our phones. Anyway, we kinda screwed up. Brought our phones, went surfing, and when we got back to the shore, the phones were gone. We freaked out for a little while, then asked some people nearby if they saw anything. They said no, but they were nice enough to let us check Find My iPhone as well as call his mom to come pick us up. By the time we checked Find My iPhone, the phones were already about 5 miles away. We called his mom, told her what happened and expected to just go home sad. But no, his mom was seriously a legend. Once she picked us up, she had us quickly log in to Find My iPhone on her phone, and the pursuit began. We literally drove for maybe 2 hours out of the way until we finally started getting near the guy. The thing is, no matter how close we got, the phone was always on the move. Plus, it's not the most accurate tracker in the world, so it's only within like 500 feet of the phone. So the chase went on forever, but we had no idea what car we were following. I don't remember all of the details perfectly, but at some point during the chase, her phone died, so she hauled herself off the freeway, ran like 2 lights and made an illegal U-turn. None of this was that dangerous, like nobody was there, but it was still pretty cool to be honest. And quickly pulled up at 7-Eleven, where we bought a car phone charger, and the chase continued. We followed the Find My iPhone tracker for maybe 2 or 3 hours total until finally the thief stopped. We pulled up where we assumed was a right stop, and it was some random taco shop. We went inside, looked around, but only a couple of people were in there, and they all looked like they were with family. So we didn't think it was any of them. And that's when we went outside and saw some guy sitting at the bus stop with a large duffel bag. We immediately assumed it was him. He looked pretty skittish. So we called the local police, and they said they would send the car to our spot. The funniest part of all of this was that the cop was full on like, don't approach the guy, just wait, okay? But my buddy's mom, being the goofy person she was, came up with seriously the dumbest plan, but we all loved it at the moment, so we went with it. What she did was she casually walked up to the guy and was like, "Hey, I lost my phone. Do you know what time it is?" It was seriously the funniest thing ever. My buddy and I couldn't help but start cracking up. Anyway, the guy was all hostile and just said no. So she came back to the car and we just waited, laughing about what just happened. From that point on, as the guy was waiting for the next bus, he kept looking back at us every couple seconds. It was kinda scary, but overall really funny. A few minutes later, a cop car passed by on the opposite side of the road, turned on its lights, and made a quick U-turn driving towards the guy. I kid you not, he got up and freaking bolted as fast as he could across the street. The cop was in a car though, so he caught him immediately. He handcuffed the guy, brought him over to us, and the cop was like, "Do you have these kids' phones?" The guy, acting innocent and pissed, was like, "No, why would I steal these kids' phones?" The cop then opened his duffel bag and wouldn't you know it, out pops our phones. The guy starts rambling that he bought the phones off some random guy, and the cop jokingly said something like, "That's some really bad luck. Maybe don't buy phones from some guy at the beach." He ended up getting arrested and we got our phones back after a 3-hour chase. This happened maybe 3 hours ago while I was shopping. For a few days now we have had security guards at the entrance who make sure not too many people and no visibly sick people enter the supermarket, and that there are no fights or such in the market because of the virus situation. It started shortly after I entered the supermarket and walked to the bread aisle. There was that woman, she was kinda strange, looked like she was going to punch everyone that came too close to her. I was minding my own business, but my basket might have touched her shopping cart for a second. While I was standing on my toes in order to reach the bread on the top shelf at the back, she then looked at me disgustingly and said, "Watch what you do, you filthy brat," then stomped away. I didn't think much of it because since the starting of the whole virus thing, it's like everyone below the age of 60, which is by far the minority in my area, is someone who is going to kill you, and we are treated like that too, so I'm kind of used to it by now. I got some more of the stuff I needed and went to the veggies aisle. There she was again, touching everything, and this is something that you also don't do even if there is no virus or flu season, so she had some customers talk to her about that while passing her by. I grabbed some onions and potatoes, both are in big cardboard boxes so you have to bend down in order to get them. So I didn't see her because, well, I was surrounded by brown cardboard full of onions and potatoes. But then she bumped her cart into me like I was an obstacle she can push away. I am literally at least 20 centimeters taller than her and might weigh 15 kilograms more than her. The second time she hit rather hard, and a second later, I stood straight and looked at her. Can't you watch out where you push your cart? You're not the only one shopping here, so look at your surroundings, and if there is something in the way, push the cart around it. It's your fault that you jumped in my way. Also, why should I watch where I go? You're young, and you have 2 eyes and healthy legs. You should have moved to the side. But your generation is generally full of stupid people like you. I just shook my head and wanted to go away as she pushed her cart into me again. Luckily, another customer saw that and got an employee, so the employee saw the last bump. Excuse me, ma'am. You can't run over other customers. You have to watch out. Please, don't bump into other people. She jumped in my way. Sorry, ma'am, but another customer saw that she was reaching into the cardboard to the onions and potatoes when you came and bumped into her. And this time I saw that you were talking with her and pushed it intentionally into her. She huffed and went away again. I thanked the employee and went on my way. At the cooling section, she was there again, taking whole boxes of things, like cheese. So I walked there and got one package from the coolers beside her. Not from her cart and not in her reaching distance. It was even a different brand from hers, but she still looked at me and said, "You brat again? That's mine. You stole it. Give it back." I didn't steal anything. It's even a different brand from the 3 boxes you have in your cart, and I took it from this box in the cooler. I showed her and walked away while she kind of shouted something along the lines, "I wanted to have the X cheese too." Happy that I was almost done with shopping, I walked to the pet food section, and there was the employee from before. I smiled at him and got the cat treats and a new toy as he approached me. "Do you have a cat?" "Yes." "Can I ask you something? I'm going to get one too on Monday." I nodded. "About food and litter, which do you—" But Karen came running and interrupted us, and she looked furious. "Where is the toilet paper?" "I'm sorry, ma'am, we're out of toilet paper and paper towels. The truck is stuck at the border, so it might take another week for another delivery." "You have some in stock? I need it now. Only a few packages." "We are out and most markets here are out of it. If you want some, you need to get it from the cities, the internet, or wait for the truck." He turned around and we continued our cat talk, and she interrupted us again. "So this filthy, arrogant brat is worth more than a paying customer like me? I need you to get me toilet paper now." She was waving and snapping her hands like she was attacked by a massive amount of bees. I have no idea what she meant with a paying customer. Am I not a paying customer to her? Isn't she also a not paying customer if she still hadn't paid for the stuff in her cart at that moment? "We're out. We don't have any in stock." No one said something about the worst of customers. You were the one interrupting. I cared for you first, so don't make any conclusions about this and leave before I get security. One of the security guards looked in our direction as the employee had talked a bit louder than normal, because we were basically in the middle in between the entrance/exit and the register. Karen saw that and stomped away. I then shared all my cat knowledge with the employee and went to the registers after picking up 1 or 2 more things. Register 1 closed and 2 opened. I was the first at register 2. I had most of my stuff already on the register when Karen showed up. I was already preparing myself for some more stupidity as she started to pack her stuff right behind mine, like leaving 1 or 2 centimeter space. Not even the divider fitted in between, so I pushed my things a little more to the front and then she started again. "Don't you dare touch my stuff! Keep your filthy hands by yourself, you brat! You even snatched my place at the register even when I was in front of you at the other register." Well, I was the first at register 2. She was not to be seen when this new one opened. And if a new register opens, the rule is whoever is first in line is first to be served. Your place at other registers doesn't matter. I didn't even stand on the other register, so this made no sense at all. She screamed like I punched her. She even touched me and held my arm trying to drag me behind her. I hate being touched, so I slapped her hand away. That might have hurt her a little. "You attacked me." The register man, coincidentally the same employee as before, saw that and wanted to say something, but I waved to him and shook my head. I was so done for today. I walked up to him, he scanned my stuff and it was time to pay, so I grabbed my wallet and because of those modern small pockets jeans, the paper tissue package I always carry with me fell out. Karen then snapped again. "Oh my god, this brat has a virus. Get her out. She touched me. I need to be compensated for this because I had so much contact with that filthy brat the whole time. I want a discount. She pushed the cart again into me, and the second time she tried, I held it and pulled it on kinda hard. So she almost fell. But well, she got what she deserved there. I picked up the package, looked at her. The cart was still in my hand to stop her from pushing it, which she tried. And just when I was about to tell her off, a security guard showed up. I thought I was doomed, but nope. The lady was asked to leave the supermarket. She of course resisted and said how I harassed her, attacked her, and so on. I explained what she meant with so much contact, and the employee offered the security footage of her attacking me with the cart. The security guard asked me if I was fine because of the potato encounter and this register card bumps. I told her it did hurt a little and it might bruise, which it did. Thanks, lady. At the end, she didn't get anything from the shop and instead got a house ban and an escort to her car without her card because, well, she caused such a scene and was attacking another customer, verbally and physically. I got a 25% discount on my stuff and I think I might have found a new friend in that employee. We are going to meet on Monday when he goes to get his cat. This year I agreed to drop off and pick up my sister Amina from school since she just started high school and it's on the same road that I take to work. But from week 1, Amina has not been respecting my time and has forced us to leave the house late. It's not as if we're late because she's brushing her teeth or doing something else she needs. She's putting on makeup. She can do that in the car or in the bathrooms at school. I recently got reprimanded at work because Amina wouldn't hurry up and I ended up being 30 minutes late. Luckily, nothing went on my work record, but enough was enough for me with Amina. I told her about what happened and that I wouldn't be driving her to and from school anymore. Amina begged me to give her another chance, but I said no. I've already given her enough chances and talks about why it's important that we leave on time, and she didn't treat them seriously. I'm not going to risk my job anymore. My parents respected my decision and contacted the carpool that was willing to pick up and drop off Amina. She was added to the carpool's group chat and now she's begging me to reconsider because this girl Taylor is in the same carpool. Amina and Taylor had some kind of boyfriend drama last year, I guess. Amina did explain what happened a few times to me, but I still don't fully understand, if I'm being honest. I don't really think it matters anyway. Taylor hasn't been bullying Amina, they just don't like each other. I told her, just don't say anything to Taylor and Taylor won't say anything to you. You're going to be on your phones anyway. You can just ignore each other and there shouldn't be any issues. She insisted that she wasn't comfortable having to be around Taylor twice a day, but I just told my sister that I didn't care. Sometimes you're going to have to be a bit uncomfortable, but part of life is learning to deal with it and move on. Today I had to tell Amina again that I wasn't changing my mind and she sarcastically told me that I gave her a great gift for Christmas. I'm wondering if I'm actually being unreasonable and don't understand how hard the original boyfriend drama was for Amina, because normally she would have accepted the no the first time and isn't this persistent. Am I the jerk? And now some comments on the post. Someone saying, you're not the jerk. If you gave her more than 3 chances and she didn't care to leave on time, that's on her. Another commenter adds, not the jerk. Amina is being the average teen who is using emotional manipulation to get out of the consequences of her actions. She's going to be fine. She's eventually going to learn. The third commenter goes with, not the jerk. You gave Amina multiple chances to respect your time. You aren't about to lose your job over her inability to be ready on time. And that's a wrap, folks. Thanks for joining me, Crown, here at K-Korner for another episode full of twists, turns, and a little bit of life's craziness. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that remind us of the weird and wonderful world we live in. Until next time, keep your spirits high and remember, no matter what life throws your way, there is always a story to tell. Peace out.